For decades, heavy-duty truck buyers haven't cared about flashy screens or gimmicks. What really matters is torque, durability, and whether a truck can survive real work day after day. And that's exactly why the Ford F-250 has stayed at the center of this segment for so long. Over the years, Ford has built its reputation through multiple generations of power-stroke diesel engines. Some became legends, others not so much. But now there's serious buzz around something completely different, an 8.0-liter diesel. And that raises one big question. Is this the upgrade the F-250 actually needs, or is it a risky move that could bring more problems than benefits? To understand that, you have to look at where Ford is coming from. Ford's diesel journey has been anything but simple. The 7.3-liter Power Stroke earned a reputation for being nearly indestructible. Then came the 6.0 and 6.4, which brought power but also reliability concerns that many owners still remember. More recently, the 6.7 Power Stroke changed the story again. Today's 6.7 is a serious machine. It delivers massive torque, strong towing performance, and far better reliability than earlier designs. For most people, it already feels like more than enough. So why even consider going bigger? There are three major reasons pushing this conversation forward. First, towing demands keep increasing. Trucks are being pushed harder than ever, especially in commercial use. Second, competition is heating up. Other manufacturers are constantly raising torque numbers, and Ford can't afford to fall behind. And third, emissions regulations are forcing engineers into tighter corners, making it harder to balance power, efficiency, and reliability. That's where the idea of an 8.0 diesel starts to make sense. Instead of squeezing more performance out of smaller, highly stressed engines, Ford could be looking at a different approach. Bigger displacement, lower stress, and more consistent performance under load. It's a shift in philosophy, not more complexity, but more strength. And if that's true, this wouldn't just be another engine upgrade. It could completely change how the F-250 is built and what it stands for moving forward. So what would an 8.0 diesel actually bring to the table? The biggest advantage is simple: torque. Diesel engines thrive on displacement, and going bigger naturally means more low-end pulling power. An 8.0-liter engine could push torque well beyond current limits, potentially crossing that 1,300 lb-ft range. And in the heavy-duty world, that kind of torque isn't just impressive, it's useful. But it's not just about bigger numbers. From an engineering standpoint, a larger engine doesn't have to work as hard to produce the same power. That means lower boost pressure, less strain on internal components, and cooler operation under load. And that directly translates into something truck owners care about most: longevity. When you're towing a fifth wheel across states or hauling heavy equipment every day, the last thing you want is an engine constantly operating at its limit. A bigger engine changes that completely. It delivers power more effortlessly. That's why many experienced fleet engineers believe detuned strength is better than overstressed performance. In other words, an engine that isn't being pushed to its edge all the time is far more likely to last, and that's where an 8.0 diesel could shine. Another key benefit is real-world durability. Not peak performance on paper, but consistency over time. A larger diesel could maintain steady output in extreme heat, handle long-distance heavy loads without overheating, and even tolerate lower-quality fuel better in certain situations. It's built for abuse. But there's another side to this story, and it's one you can't ignore. Modern diesel engines are heavily controlled by emission systems, and increasing engine size creates new challenges. More displacement means more emissions to manage, especially nitrogen oxides. That requires larger and more complex after-treatment systems. And with more complexity comes more potential problems. More sensors, more components, and more things that can fail over time. On top of that, fuel efficiency becomes a concern. Bigger engines naturally consume more fuel, especially in everyday driving. For owners who use their F-250 as a daily vehicle, not just a work truck, that could be a serious downside. Then there's weight. An 8.0-liter engine would be heavier and larger, which affects balance, suspension tuning, and even long-term wear on tires and brakes. So while the benefits are clear, the trade-offs are just as real. And that's what makes this decision so complicated. So how would this compare to what we already have? The current 6.7 Power Stroke is not a weak engine by any means. In fact, it's one of the most advanced and capable diesel engines in the heavy-duty segment today. It delivers strong torque, impressive towing performance, And after years of updates, it has proven to be far more reliable than earlier designs. For most F-250 owners, it already does everything they need, but it's not perfect. To reach those high-performance numbers, the 6.7 relies heavily on advanced turbocharging, high-pressure fuel systems, and complex tuning. And while that brings power and efficiency, it also introduces stress. When something goes wrong, repairs can get expensive quickly. That's where the idea of an 8.0 diesel starts to look appealing again. Instead of relying on extreme boost and complex systems, a larger engine could deliver similar or greater performance more naturally. Less stress, fewer extreme pressures, and potentially fewer failures over time. But the industry itself is moving in a different direction. Right now, truck manufacturers are split between two paths. One focuses on smaller, highly advanced engines packed with technology. These engines use multiple turbos, precise fuel delivery, and software optimization to squeeze out every bit of performance. The other path is moving toward electrification. Hybrid systems are starting to appear, using electric motors to fill torque gaps and improve efficiency. Some trucks are even beginning to rely on battery-assisted towing to reduce engine load. So where does an 8.0 diesel fit into all of this? It would go against the trend. Instead of adding more complexity or relying on electric assistance, it would return to a more traditional approach. Bigger displacement, simpler power delivery, and mechanical strength over digital optimization. And that's why experts are divided. Some believe this is exactly what the market needs. A return to durability and long-term reliability. Others argue it's a step backward, especially in a world focused on emissions, efficiency, and new technology. When you look at real-world use, the answer becomes clearer. For heavy towing, this kind of engine could be a game changer. It would handle large loads with less effort, maintain consistent performance, and reduce the risk of overheating under stress. But for daily driving, the results are mixed. You might get smooth, effortless power at low RPM, but you'll also deal with higher fuel consumption and potentially higher maintenance costs. So it really comes down to how the truck is used. When you talk to the people who actually work on these trucks every day, the opinions get even more interesting. Many experienced diesel mechanics prefer larger, less stressed engines. Their reasoning is simple. Engines that don't have to work as hard tend to last longer. Lower boost pressure means less wear. Simpler tuning reduces failure points, and bigger displacement handles heavy abuse far better over time. From that perspective, an 8.0 diesel makes a lot of sense. But engineers see it differently. Their biggest concern isn't building the engine, it's making it work in today's world. Emissions regulations are stricter than ever, and scaling up displacement makes compliance much harder. Packaging a larger engine into a modern truck platform also brings challenges, from cooling systems to weight distribution. And then there's cost. Developing an entirely new engine platform isn't cheap. An 8.0 diesel would likely increase the price of the truck, raise maintenance costs, and require more specialized servicing. That's something everyday buyers will definitely feel. Fleet operators, however, look at it from another angle. For them, the biggest expense isn't fuel, it's downtime. If a truck is sitting in the shop, it's losing money. So, if a larger engine can reduce breakdowns, extend service life, and deliver more consistent performance under constant load, the higher upfront cost may actually be worth it. And that brings us to the biggest question of all: reliability. Ford has come a long way with the 6.7 Power Stroke, rebuilding trust after earlier diesel issues. But that history still matters. If Ford introduces an 8.0 diesel, it has to be solid from day one. No major failures, no widespread issues. Because in this segment, reputation is everything. There's also a bigger picture to consider: the future of diesel itself. With electrification moving forward and regulations getting tighter, large diesel engines may not have the same long-term future they once did. That creates an interesting possibility. An 8.0 diesel could represent the peak of traditional heavy-duty diesel engineering, the most powerful, most durable version before the industry shifts in a new direction. So is it the upgrade the F-250 really needs? If you value durability, lower engine stress, and long-term performance under heavy load, then yes, it could be exactly what you've been waiting for. But if you care more about fuel efficiency, lower complexity, and everyday usability, then maybe not. Because in today's world, even going bigger comes with its own set of trade-offs.